Thank you. Well, good morning, Megan, Gumji and David. My name is Robert Ventresca and I'm joined today by our principal, Jason Embley.
Hi.
And we're very excited to present to you today our design for the Victorian Tunnelling Centre, which was a collaboration between Rail Projects Victoria and Holmesglen Institute. And interestingly, is the only facility of its kind in Australia and only one of 3 around the world. Tunnelling generally is a harsh, dirty and a dangerous profession and has an extremely high dropout rate in Australia. And so the purpose of this facility is to expose, train and prepare workers, as well as to begin creating a local workforce for the enormous amount of upcoming tunnelling projects we have both locally and nationally. Our response and aspiration was to design a building that could rebrand the industry of tunnelling. And our approach was to express the function of the building in a playful and intuitive way. And we've taken a fairly dark and gritty profession and tried to make it light and fun. And here you can see our twin tunnel tubes piercing through an ephemeral facade where the spaces behind the facade become expressed and showcased to the rest of the campus. And tunnels and their trades, they're something that is generally quite hidden. And in this project, we've tried to bring this out into the light and make a proud statement of these activities. To respond to the campus, we've situated the building in a way that creates a central heart to the campus. And this location also protects the sensitive areas from noise pollution. The building also responds to the campus's key existing movement routes and access strategy. And lastly, it allows us to also showcase the internal program, as well as create some engagement with and celebrate the industry of tunnelling. So to give you an overview of these spaces, the building is bookended with 2 replica tunnels with an adjacent entry tunnel. And next to each tunnel sits the flexible engineering workshops, and central to this sits the plant, amenities and breakout spaces. And we had a very tight, an extremely tight budget and construction timeframe here, something similar to a standard portal frame shed on any flat piece of land. So modularity and simplicity became real key construction strategies for us. The main material on this entry facade is a multi-cell translucent polycarbonate. And this gives the building this really lovely layered, reflective and transparent quality that creates a lot of intrigue and really starts to take on the quality of the atmosphere. The transparency allows us to look into and engage with the functions inside, as well as proudly celebrate these forms. Being a multi-layered panel, we also get some really fantastic thermal performance out of these panels. Internally, our large facade panels flood the space with natural light, but also create a wonderful striating of the landscape outside. But I think what I find most interesting is the temporal and constantly changing atmosphere shown on the facade. I think it gives such a beautiful quality of light throughout the day and as well at night. I think there's something just really captivating about seeing something not so clearly and a little obstructed. Looking in section, we can see 2 distinctively different tunnel profiles. And the first is a 30-metre long bored tunnel to replicate the tunnels which are usually used for underground rail environments. And the one we have here was built using segments from the Melbourne Metro Rail project. And inside is a range of different infrastructure and services, as well as provisioning of these, so that students can experiment and learn in a real-world environment, as well as with augmented and virtual reality modules. The parabolic tunnel is a mine tunnel, which is situated which is suited to road tunnels and other miscellaneous type of underground environments. But both of the, what I think is really incredible about these tunnels is both replicate the actual environment of working underground, and they can be fully blackened, flooded, filled with smoke, and students can explore different construction techniques in this environment. And I think it also make a pretty fantastic Christmas party event if anyone's interested. In the right two shots, you can see the exterior of the mine tunnel, which interfaces with the engineering workshops. And we've also designed a tunnel for the entry and arrival into the building. We did this so that all visitors experience the volume and spatial qualities of a tunnel as part of their journey, as well as to nod to the twin tunnels which are currently being bored around Melbourne at the moment. In terms of sustainability, given our tight time and cost constraints, we found simple, passive, sustainable strategies to be most effective. So starting from the bottom, we have a south facade and skylights which flood the internal spaces with natural light, whilst minimising direct solar heat gain. The building's also been oriented based on fundamental solar principles, whereby we've got the short faces facing east-west and the long faces running north-south. Again, to try and minimise solar heat gain while maximising natural daylight. We also have two large rainwater tanks which collect water from the roofs and feed back into the building and landscape systems. We have external shading on the western facade, which is provided by the climbing frame and plants, obscuring the harsher western sun. And also the walls of the north and west face are made of an insulated panel system, which gives us great thermal performance. We have a large array of PV cells on the roof, which allows the campus to now generate a surplus of electricity. And finally, we have a low energy mechanical heat purging system, which replaces the heat trapped inside with the cooler night air. For us, this project's been a really great example of the value of constantly advocating for better design outcomes, regardless of time and cost. And in this case, I think it's resulted in something quite special, unique, and worlds away from a standard Bunnings shed. And I hope you've enjoyed seeing our presentation today of the Victorian Tunnelling Centre, and thank you very much for your time listening.